Welcome to the Right Place podcast, where we learn with you how to make connections that matter, relationships that last, and businesses that thrive. This is our first live in-person podcast recording, and we are here at Rudolf's house in Pretoria. And I'm joined by Chris Fenning, Rudolf, and myself. I'm John Watson. And welcome to the podcast. This is on the day after our first minute tour wrapped up. And we're just going to spend a couple of minutes reflecting on everything that we've done. And let's get into it. Chris, can you believe it is finished? It just happened.
No. And I don't want it to end, because it's been, not only has it been a great tour, but it's improved, and we've got tighter and better, and the events have become better and more successful. And it's all been a positive upward trajectory. And the idea that I'm just going to go back and be in my office by myself next week, I wonder, what am I going to do? Yeah. It's like, a real come down. But the great thing about that is I'm coming down from such an incredible 2 weeks.
No, it's been pretty mega, and I think it's been amazing to have the momentum. I kept thinking it's going to die down. It's just like climbs, and we ended off with a spectacular event, and we had a wonderful time. Week in Cape Town. It's been hot, it's been dry, it's been thunderstorms. Rudolf, how's your week been?
It's been a big guy. We started off with such a banging story with those 4 events on one day. And I think after the first one, we all felt tired, but also excited of what's coming. You realize that there's another 3 events on the same day. And then as the week progressed, we feel tired. I felt that. I felt, if I'm going to sit still for too long, I'm going to sleep. But as soon as you get into the groove, into the mode, you just operate. And it's really just hard. A little bit worried about what's going to happen after Chris leaves. Then we're stuck with it. We're like, it feels like we have become crashing down to some extent, which I'm worried about. But
you get your house back.
Yeah, it's dead. I'm sure people at my house are also looking forward to it, but we've got a big game about coming up and a bit of excitement to close it off properly, South African way.
Yes.
But it's been a good week. I've been professionally so, but also on a personal level, I felt people enjoyed what we tried to do. The feedback's been great, and that's a great motivator going forward. And it's also on a personal level, connecting with Chris and myself and John as well, and work together like this for a while. It's been an eye-opener to some extent.
And it really has. I've never spent every minute of the day with 2 other people for 2 weeks and just enjoyed it. Yeah. And it would be really easy to say, oh yeah, I really enjoyed it. But actually now, one of the most powerful things that I'm here with is to me great. And the business stuff and the photos and the events and connections and the great memories of art. This will carry on. Yeah. And the shift over the last 2 weeks from let's get this done to a joint conversation between let's get this done and part 2 and part 3, like other tours, has really shown that this is not just a one.
No, absolutely. I think the joy for me has been that if we were tired of each other, it would have shown up eventually. You can't put 3 people in a car, in the venue, in the heat.
To tell Rudolf, they borrow.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, I think also John, from an organizational level, just to piece everything together in the past, we actually didn't know what we're setting ourselves up for here, what we're trying to do, if it's going to work, how people are going to pitch up. So how did we go through that process and how did we take it to reach the preparation phase and then just the start of it? Was there a significant shift for you from planning phase to implementation phase?
I think the shift happened last year when I left full-time employment due to family reasons. And I wasn't ready to start my own business, but you're never actually ready. If we had wanted to get ready for this tour, it would never happen. And like I think I shared earlier in the week, I said the biggest decision you have to make is we are going to do this.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we did. So when Chris said yes, and we said we started to do this, we got the dates, like, well, now everything must just fall into place. And by hook or by crook or by luck, we actually got it done. But we just decided we're going to do it. We weren't ready. But I mean, there's a lot of famous authors and leaders who say, just start. Yeah. Because the start gives you that momentum. We have to kick ourselves. We have to do this. And somehow we made it happen. And it was a lot of fun. It was exhausting, but it's like that. You've got that tired feeling of we did something. It's not tired from, I wish we didn't do this. It's tired. We did something crazy cool, memorable, and whatever happens next will be an absolute bonus. But this was cool. The last 2 weeks was awesome.
What did you guys think when I said yes?
I always expected you to say it. To be honest, I wasn't like I thought, are we going to try and pitch something to this guy? And hopefully I had this. Yeah, I had it in me that he's gonna say yes. What worried me is, were we going to be able to do it? Was it going to be something that is achievable? And you had this little bit almost doubt, but it's not really that. It's, am I going to get enough people? Are we going to get enough events? Is it going to be worth Chris's time and the money? Yeah, and my domain job. I think in the end, eventually we did not succeed at getting enough people in the rooms. And there's not maybe enough events.
The point of that enough events.
Bigger, more close-knit events in some instances. But the doubt was really, or the doubt part was really in terms of, we're going to pull this thing off, because I don't want to look like an idiot to some guy that sold 60,000 books and he talks for a living, and I'm forever going to be in his head. So that was actually the biggest drawback for me. And once you start to do it, you're actually in it. The men's full block. I think at first meeting, that was the main thing I had on a negative side. We're excited and that is to try it. But yeah, it was teeny tiny thing in your head.
To the left side, I was thinking, oh, am I going to be able to deliver what you're hoping and setting up? And so all the doubts you had, the right expectations I had, that this can't be new to anyone who's watching this or listening to this. This is what humans go through, now carrying your it. And I think a key takeaway for all of us and everyone listening is this is totally normal. I think you're not thinking out, unless the other person is a proper diva or you're getting somebody with 30 years experience doing all of this. They're probably going to have some doubts as well. Diva, yeah. Where's my wine? Only blue M&Ms.
I would let's ask the.
I was just wondering what John does.
Yeah.
No, when you said yes, I was like, cool, that was the hard part. Because, like I said earlier. And then I got really excited because I like almost surprising myself, but also surprising other people, because I don't want to get to 50 years old and like, remember when I read that book the first minute? It was so nice to meet Chris. South Africa's got so many issues and could have got a guy and I didn't do it and I'm good. I'm like, let's just do it. And like I said, if we hadn't booked enough events, the worst case scenario would have been an extra day or two sightseeing in Cape Town or going to the Pionsberg to look at Big Five. So that was the plan B. We're going to be entertained.
You would bring these 2 workshops.
So luckily we had that to fall on. It wasn't coming here in the middle of winter, it's raining and snowing and there's nothing else to do except stare at each other and hate every moment. So that gave me comfort that, look, and luckily we knew some of the people that you would meet and they could back us up and they become almost part of the supporters club for the tour. So that gave me comfort, and it's nice to do stuff that doesn't make sense, because this doesn't make sense. And now it's happened and we kind of pulled off the impossible, and it's like, we can do anything. We can do this to other speakers. We can do another tour with you. We can go to other countries. So, and that's cool. That's what makes life exciting.
Yeah. If you don't ask, you definitely won't get it.
Nothing's going to happen.
Yeah.
Nothing's going to happen.
Also, the one thing that I learned, and I did a post on it on LinkedIn that got a bit messed up in the conversation later on, but you ask and people say no. And at some stage, you dread that. You don't want people to say no because it's not right. They always fear a no. But at the moment where I'm sitting and what I've learned out of this last probably 3-4 months, the last bit of it is I'd rather take the no than no response. I'm on that page where if I ask someone something, they don't come back to me. It's always disrespectful to an extent rather than...
It feels more personal. Why are you ignoring me rather than saying no? We were talking about this with Charles this morning. So this last day of tour, we packed in a live podcast recording as well. But what you do? Yes, there's 2 this morning. And we were talking about those notes, collecting notes. And there's a difference, it should be a long time to learn. There's a difference between someone rejecting me, no, I don't want you, I'm not interested in you, and someone rejecting the thing that you're offering. Because that already because it's the wrong time, it's the wrong price, it's not the highest priority at the moment, it's they're busy, whatever it is, it's a rejection of it, of that thing and their need. But the silence in response feels like a rejection to me. Oh, they ain't no one interested. It's and maybe I don't have time, it's low priority, so I haven't got around to the email, but we can't help but feel they're just ignoring me. Like, if acknowledge that something that I've done, if I ruined this business forever, that's self-doubt. It comes right back in. I bet next time you talk to them, it'll be absolutely fine. Like, oh, no, I'm just, we were being bought out by someone else. We have some huge stuff with that. And that's what happened. That happened to me. I worked with a company in the UK. We did a full 12-month costed program. And then I was ghosted. Didn't hear from them at all. What did I do? This was a friend. What's happened? Trying to get in touch with people. A year later, they came back and went, I'm really sorry. We're in the middle of an incredible court case. And it was just, everyone was heads down trying to deal with this. Let's get back to it. It ended up being a great good business and thought that all about self-doubt. What did I do wrong? This is where I should have gone. What was it then? They wasn't important for that.
Yeah.
I'm really hoping that all those blind people was actually actually just sorry, but other stuff good.
I also think that from the publicity that was generated now and a bit of momentum, potentially for a future thing, there might be more of those coming in because they've heard the good stories and it's been successful and can be done. And hopefully some of those will be part of a future thing.
Yeah. Because if you are listening to this and you want to listen, because what happened is we started off in Cape Town, and then we sort of got momentum as we came up to Victoria about what was happening in the background, because you guys were busy on your phones and doing stuff, finding out what was going on and being great tour managers, as well as bagman and driver. They shared the work. So what was happening in the background? What caused that's well.
I think it's maybe a combination of us posting a lot on WhatsApp and LinkedIn, communicating with people who maybe were on the borderline, am I going to come, am I not going to come? Then saying, look, this is what happened in Cape Town, this is what happened at the Tech Collider event, things like that. And word spreads fast. I mean, I think we've got the reason I wanted to collaborate with Rudolf originally on this podcast is I want access to people in Pretoria, Rudolf lives in Pretoria, and vice versa. We've got a good network either side, and people that know each other either side, and even like people that came to our last event last night were not forewarned. Were please. The day before was suggested the day before by other people saying you must go to this event, and suddenly 3 or 4 more people come to the event. So I think word of mouth was good. It's difficult to have word of mouth if you're not in the country. It kind of happens face to face. It happens the moment you're signing books, you're having a one-on-one conversation, and then the people start building up.
Yeah.
And almost another point I wanted to make is you often ask, what was your aha moment? And I think the aha moment for me overall was the great need for better communication. The first minute workshop touched on communication everywhere under the sun, no matter which role you fulfill, if you're junior staff, senior staff, you had something to learn. And people need to get better at that. That's just that everyone raised their hands. Yes, I communicate, I need to get better at this. I know someone who's long-winded and I'm clear. So if we can stop people being long-winded and unclear, I think we'll have a great existence here. And in South Africa. And then also the same with the 39 ways as well. It really touched the nerve that people, there's so much training taking place. And the aha moment is, oh my word, it's just not sticking. And now hopefully this is going to build a bit of a groundswell and the word will spread that there is actually literature available. There is actually techniques that you can implement. And we need it in South Africa. We need all the help we can get.
Yeah, no. I think also what helped on the Victoria side is that people from that side experienced it and they spoke to their colleagues on that side. Because a lot of the companies that we work with on that side actually phoned up their mates on I think to go.
And the Cape Town people was recording the other.
Yeah, so they went through it. The experience that they've had, and they advertised, remarketed all can, but at some stage you just had to go through it. And once you did that, you'd want to go to the next one. And a lot of it was on Saturday. People came to more than one event. I don't know all the people that came to people I know on this side. Then 3 of them there. And luckily you had some yes, which I think was also valuable. I had not heard one negative comment on my side yet that I know from people that spoke to me directly. I've had that one pretty short feedback that said, it wasn't for me, or I'm not going to do it, or sucks. It was all positive feedback, which then
That's my mind over, right?
no, create public positivity come quick. Yeah, so I think they're all positive. Yeah, I think that on you. Yeah. So let's talk about the future. We are talking about the future. What are we going to do?
Well, next week, I'm going to go to the movies in the middle of the day. Just something I've been promising myself since I started working for myself. I'm the boss of my own time. Yes. I'm going to go to the movies in the middle of the day and feel guilty for most of the time. I should be doing other work. Once I've done that and sleep, short term, it's following up with all the people who supported us, contributed to the event, and delivering on the promises. Because I did a workshop, 39 Ways to Make Training Stick, which included what happens after training. I got to do those follow-ups. And we've got offers, there's money off offers for follow-up work. There's free access to follow-up training session resources we said we would share. So there's a bunch of admin that we just not in. We had 17 events in 9 days. Yeah. So what that is done, or not what that's done, during that process, we're continuing the relationship that we either nurtured, because you have them or are brand new. And talking about what next, we've got some big invite. I think it was 4 national conferences that now been invited back. Which your comment about when you're in person, that would not happen if I'd done this all on Zoom.
No, never happened.
People leave the room and go, we have a conference in November, can you come back? And we're talking about 8 months away. And that's phenomenal feedback to get. But now we're looking at, all right, November, coming back in November for an event. What can we build around? And we've said it best, like, this first tour is reputation building. We didn't hit the very ambitious financial goal, because we're in it to make our absolutely about delivering value, having great workshop, helping $, but we're in a business. So we do want to make money. We don't want to be too greedy or be greedy at all. We didn't hit that really lofty goal, but it was worth doing. And what came out of it was reputation. So how do we continue that momentum and make sure we don't go, that was great, and then it all slides away. You go, do you remember that thing? It was all good. We should fancy doing it again. It's very careful, genuine relationship building. Say, all right, this is what we're going to do. Let's just say come back at this time. And potentially with someone else, we're looking at bringing a lot of people, like, one other person to add some variety and some extra and build up a tour 2.0.
No, I'm looking forward to those discussions. I think it's exciting that we've proved the concept. We've proved that South Africa needs this. There's a hunger for the knowledge. And like you said, some people came to those events and like, I love this, and more of this. And then getting the feedback from those people having implemented the stuff instantly, changed their methods or changed their documentation or their training material to include that. So that's an instant result. And maybe to the people that didn't make it or chose not to make it, watch out for these people that did attend, because I think they've got a bit of a head start. They know what you don't know yet. Yeah, and also the feedback was so positive. It wasn't, what you're talking about isn't financial advice, so there's a competition. It is universal advice that can be applied by anybody. And we consider, or we think you're one of the best in the world. And like I said, South Africa needs help. So it is something that will always be required. People will always need training on communication. People are still training, and especially like the people that we saw last night, to be almost accepted by a fraternity of people that we wouldn't necessarily have access to. But partnering with you, collaborating, me and Rudolf, and you got us access there. And the feedback we got from these people, some of who we've read their books and we've watched it on TV or radio, like, how did they get into this room? How did this actually happen? How did this actually happen? So that just accelerates it, because let's just do this, because we will regret it. And if we knew now how successful it would have been and hadn't done it, it would have been a really bad thing. Yeah. I would have been crying in the corner.
Can I pick up on one of the pieces you mentioned, Eric? You ended up in the room with someone who you've read her books, you've listened to her on radio for years and years, and it's this person who seems out of reach. And it's Nikki Bush, and she's a human, and she's lovely, and she's generous and interesting, and we have these conversations. And that is something that anyone who's listening to this thinking, why am I trying to grow my business and make people feel out of reach? Remember, they're people.
They're people first.
Just like us, they're people first. And we like to make connections and have conversations and enjoy it. People can seem out of reach. And you're trying to get Taylor Swift to come to your podcast. They're probably going to have to join a long line.
Yes.
So there's a megastar thing. But the people who seem really out of reach, we should be able to get in touch with them.
Until you ask, nothing's going to happen. So that even, I mean, you can tell your own stories, but we've been trying to get in touch with some of these, some people that we've met now, that we emailed or sent LinkedIn messages to and so on. But the fact that we actually made it work grew our status a little bit, which is not something that I'm bragging about. I'm saying we got in because it worked. And the thing is, if we didn't try it, we would still be the guys emailing and sending DMs, and nothing happened. So for that, it was tiring. So I think really our place, after all this, we need to sit back and reflect that, but we can't maintain that type of intensity and momentum on for a year. And it's important to have those breaks in balance, the family life, and all those other things. And then reflect on what happened and see what am I going to change? What didn't work? Incremental improvements the whole time. Get to a point where it actually gets better and not a replication, copy and paste.
Exactly. And we did that as we went. We got lists of what we were driving. If we did the event, we would go, oh, what about this? And this small, tiny change, and then really big. This thing didn't work as well as we wanted last time. Anyway. So it wasn't what we expected. It felt clunky. You could see people in the audience like, or there was a problem with tech at the venue, or what do we do? So we kept that running with, and that lesson learned has been really, really important. And we talk a lot in this session now about being tired, and that I don't want that to be the takeaway. For me, there's a demand to this. We haven't been on show the whole time. We started at 7:30 in the morning and finished at 10 o'clock at night on a few days. But through the tour, my energy level was higher, zinging at the beginning, and then really get that first day when we moved from Cape Town to Victoria and kept forward. I was really tired, basically drained. But then I go back up again, but really energized again. And part of that was a change to two events a day. They're bigger. Another part was the events got better, and they were smoother, and I just enjoyed it. I mean, we're through. I think a lesson that we did really well in week one, I don't know if this was intentional or just the way the planning worked out, but we had day one was one very, very easy event. Wasn't super microbar. It was a very friendly audience, and we had a great first day. And then we went to all our family place and chilled out. Then we had a busier second day. Third day, we had one event. So we're planning the tour again, even though we our pack as much as great networking is on, planning to have either a day off or a day with just one event that doesn't mean you're waking up for a particular alcohol, and you get that little bit of rest and recharge. And if we can plan that in, we'd all know it's coming. Go, all right, make the time, but don't worry about it. You've got that chill day. It's coming.
What did you enjoy most outside of work? Apart from reading me and John.
Well, you set this up nicely. The best memory outside of the work from this thing, other than running away from lions, practice tomorrow. I have two. One, I saw the penguins. I saw the penguins at Boulders Beach. They're everything I hoped it would be. And I love penguins. So that was a highlight. The other was on the first day where we got together, all of us for the first time. I met you for a very small lab. We'd done the first event. And each other, you picked us up at the airport, which was wonderful. Midnight with a 7-year-old in a new country, it's hard. So that was wonderful. But the afternoons, we had the first day, and we did a lunchtime event, and then we went to your house, and our families worked together, and we all met in person for the first time. And it felt like a holiday, it felt like the beginning, and it was just excitedly relaxed, which is a common bit, but that is a wonderful, wonderful moment.
I say that during the process as well, we got to know each other a lot better. And myself and Don, know each other for 18 years now. But we got to know you over the 2 weeks as well. And I think our value systems and our levels of humor, to some extent, is quite a lie.
Yeah. So one of the things on the social media side we spent our time between events. We were commenting on, like, trying to keep up with way more content than I expected because people just contributed so much. Absolutely wonderful. And so a lesson in amongst all the others that we've talked about, we've got this long list. A lesson is to making time each day to say, all right, this is our social media time. Let's make sure we are still being involved during the day, so it's not all scheduled, but making sure now that we're going to spend time on it, must spend an hour or two each day coming up with my own posts, genuinely commenting on others, not packages. And so, yeah, we'll make time.
I think also we grew as we got along and carried on. So as we continued, got better. But the following one would start something like what we did, and then growing to that. And we might get some more and football. I did to get someone to carry a great piece.
Harry, like 100 books around in this box everywhere. And it's just been incredible. Absolutely. My closing thought on this is the gratitude I have for every single person that we, whether it was someone helping us find something to or with the people at the event, tech crews, every single person lifted us up and helped. Great. And they were positive and grateful to do it and full of advice and recommendations. Oh, I pulled this brand and I've got that. And just the support from everyone here and support from two of you. It's been absolutely phenomenal. I'm almost lost for words.
No, that's wonderful to hear, Chris. Thank you so much for saying yes, Rudolf. Thanks for collaborating on this. I think what I would say is, again, a famous quote I heard recently is, when we are 50 years old, because we're not 40 now, when we're 50 years old, we're going to look back at these days as the good old days. I remember when we asked Chris to come to South Africa. Remember when we did this tour. Remember when he did multiple tours in multiple countries, all that type of stuff. So we must appreciate the time that we're living. These are the good old days. These are the days when we can be healthy and we can do these kind of crazy things. So I think that's my big lot of gratitude for everything that's happened, because it's been a ride, and I think our three wives are looking forward to having us back. and not talking about how much fun you had on the twin and all that.
I don't want to hear about that. Oh,
But it's been good. And I mean, they got memories out of it as well. They were also involved and saw us in action, and that's got to get us some brownie points eventually, I think. So thank you so much, Chris. Thank you so much, Rudolf. Thank you everyone for watching. If you attended an event, if you bought a book, if you made a LinkedIn post, anything, thank you so much. We appreciate you, and we'll see you next time at the right place.